Unit 6, page 74. Listening. Exercise C. Listen to the interview. For questions 1 to 10, complete the sentences below. You will need to write a word or short phrase in each gap.
Hello and welcome to World of Health. Now, today we're going to be talking about vegetarianism. What makes someone decide to completely change their diet and give up eating meat? Here with me to discuss this question is 16-year-old Susie Keane from Sussex, who is herself a vegetarian. Hello, Susie, and welcome to the programme.
Hi.
Now, Susie, you've been a vegetarian for about 2 years now, am I right?
Yes, I actually made the decision to stop eating meat on my 14th birthday, and I'm 16 now.
And was it a difficult decision?
Not really, no. I mean, the decision itself wasn't difficult, but in practice it turned out to be harder than I thought.
Why was that?
Well, because the rest of my family are meat eaters, and my mum didn't have time to cook separate meals for me, so I had to start doing my own cooking. Some days the whole family eats vegetable dishes, but on the days when they eat meat, I make my own food.
I see. So, what kinds of things do you eat?
Well, I'm not a vegan. As you probably know, a vegan is someone who doesn't eat anything that comes from animals. Milk, eggs, or yogurt, for example. I'm not that strict a vegetarian, so I drink a lot of milk. And I eat simple things like pasta with tomato sauce, baked potatoes. Oh, and I love pizza.
Do you eat fish?
Not often. Occasionally I eat tuna, but I feel a bit guilty about it.
And how do you make sure you get all the vitamins you need?
Well, vegetables have just as many vitamins as meat, you know. Seriously though, a healthy diet doesn't have to include meat. I get protein from things like nuts and cheese. I eat a lot of fresh fruit too.
Which brings me to my next question. Why did you become a vegetarian? It's a big decision for a 14-year-old.
Well, it was something I'd thought about for years. I must have been about 7 years old when I realised that the food on my dinner plate had actually once been a living creature. It was a terrible shock.
How come you suddenly realised?
Well, every summer we used to go and stay on a farm which belonged to my aunt and uncle. They let me feed the chickens every morning, and I had a favourite one that I named Henrietta. Anyway, to cut a long story short, one morning I went to feed the chickens as usual, and Henrietta had gone.
Oh no, I think I know what you're going to say next.
Yes. No one said anything to me, and at first I thought she must have escaped. But when we had chicken for dinner later that day, I realised what had happened to her. I cried for days. To me, it was as if they had murdered a person. My cousins couldn't understand my reaction because to them it seemed quite normal to kill animals for food.
And you never really got used to the idea of eating meat after that?
No, I did get used to it, I suppose. I just tried not to think about it. But then a couple of years ago, I watched a documentary on TV about the meat industry in the United States. It showed the unhygienic conditions in which the animals were kept. It also explained how forests are being destroyed to make space for all the animals needed to supply us with meat. That's when I realised that eating meat, or at least eating such a lot of meat, is actually very bad for the environment.
I take your point. But personally, I can't imagine life without meat, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners share my point of view. The problem is, it's just too tasty.
Fair enough. It's up to you if you want to eat meat. I don't try and force my views on other people, as long as they accept that we vegetarians have the right to our views too. You'd be surprised how many people are shocked when I tell them I don't eat meat.
Really?
Yes. People often expect me to explain why I'm a vegetarian, which is really annoying sometimes. I mean, I don't expect them to explain why they eat meat.
So a message to all narrow-minded meat eaters out there. I'm afraid we're running out of time now, but thank you very much for being my guest today, Susie. And for any listeners out there wanting to know more about vegetarianism, just visit our website at www.